Hello everyone, my name is Felix Golenko and welcome to another episode of Dashboards Worth Using. Billable hours is a huge topic for many different types of businesses, be it for professional services, lawyers, accountants, marketing agencies, consultancy companies, engineering companies, contract manufacturing, IT service companies, basically for everyone whose business model is partially or fully based on charging their customers or clients on hourly or daily basis. In this episode, I will introduce just one of many possible and, in my opinion, required dashboards on billable hours. Well, depending on your feedback, I very well may create a few additional episodes just on the topic of billable hours. The dashboard I will share with you in this episode is a very operational dashboard to be using during the month to track month-to-date actual and target values of billable hours by customers, to make sure that you're spending just right amount of hours on the projects and tasks for your customers. Or put differently, a dashboard that could help you avoid some of the most common problems when it comes to billable hours. Speaking of the most common problems when it comes to billable hours, here's how I see them. The first one is we are spending too many hours for a customer. You hear me a lot speaking about cause and effect, so here's the cause and effect story for this problem or why this can hurt us. In most cases, we've got budget agreements with our customers. So if we spend too many hours on one customer, this will cause budget overrun. This itself will cause at least unpleasant discussions with the customer, with the side effect that we will, in addition, unnecessarily waste both their and our valuable time. Anyway, the discussion about budget overrun will, in the best case, leave the customer annoyed. In a worst case, not the worst yet, we will not get paid for the more work we have done, and that was not budgeted. And in the worst case, we will not only not get paid, but we will also lose the customer. On the other side, not spending enough hours on a customer is not good either. Here's the cause and effect for this. If we are not spending enough hours on one customer's project, this will with a very high likelihood cause deliverables to be late, which in turn, in the best case, will make our customers unhappy and annoyed. A worst case, again, not the worst yet, this customer will not use our services anymore. And in the worst case, we may even need to pay fines and penalties because of these delays. And in addition, produce billable hours for the lawyers. But there is another potential problem here too. The ratio between the hours we book and the hours that we are able to bill is too low. The cause and effect here is very subtle, but the damage can be huge. Well, if we work but can't bill what we have worked on, this is depleting our margin and we are plain losing money. But actually it's even worse. Since our resources are not unlimited, we are consuming these resources while they could work for other customers and get paid for. So we are losing money in double sense. Plus, possibly annoying other customers because we are not delivering on time. And I have already mentioned an additional negative effect of this. So, I claim that a big part of these problems can be solved or can be avoided or at least minimized if at any time or at least often enough during the month we would have answers to the following questions. For which customers have we spent too many hours so far this month? And on the other side, for which customers have we not worked enough so far? And for which customers is the ratio between booked hours and billable hours not on target so far? So let's first see how to get the answers to these questions, and afterwards, how these answers would help you avoid the problems I was just talking about. As in many other cases, hope is the strategy also when it comes to billable hours. Meaning, we let our people work and just hope that they will work on the right projects. that they will spend exactly the right amount of hours as we think they should, although we possibly didn't even tell them what the right number of hours would be. And we also expect them and secretly just hope that they will book their hours correctly and on time. Whichever system you use for booking hours, some of them may have reports and some of them may not. But even if they've got reports, these reports may look something like this you see here. Actually, most of the reports I see on billable hours look very much like this. While this report does show how many billable hours have your people produced so far in this month, how does this really help? For instance, how does it help you to know that if you turn your head around for Smith & Sons, so far 200 hours have been spent? Or around 170 hours have been spent for the Black Label Digit company? Or barely any hours have been invested so far for the Momo client? Now, what's the value of knowing this? What we actually want to know are the answers to these questions. For which customers have we spent too much time? For which not enough? And what is the billable ratio? And a report like this does not answer these questions. Neither would something like this answer these questions, even if it's more pleasant to look at and better readable. The problem is that just having actual month-to-date numbers is not enough. But a dashboard like this will answer these questions. And now let's take a closer look how it would answer these questions that we have identified as being very critical. First, the title itself sets very clear the context. We are talking about month-to-date billable hours as actuals and targets by customer, and it is clear what month we are looking at. Instead of just showing the month-to-date actual values, I also show them here in comparison with what month-to-date target is or where we want it to be by this time of the month. How do we know what the month-to-date target is? Well, we know, or at least we should know, what the monthly target is. There are several possibilities how to derive the month-to-date target. One of them is just to calculate the percentage of the month we are currently at, but by taking the day number of the month, let's say 16th of March, and divide it by the number of days of the month, which would be 31 for March. Or do the same with the number of working days of a month. This itself already provides us actionable insights. For this customer, we have by now already worked way too much. While for this one, we are way beyond the plan. This part of a dashboard, I call it a dashlet, takes it even further and shows exactly for all customers how much of the monthly budget have we consumed so far. And watch this line. It tells me that on the 16th of March, we're approximately at the half of the month. And for most customers, we are okay, but here are some problems. Now watch this actionable insight. We have consumed more than 90% of the monthly budget for this customer, although we are only halfway into the month. Now, you could say, sure, I know, but this is how we have planned it. We wanted to complete the project by the 3rd week of March. Great, I say, so there is nothing to worry about. But how about if you haven't planned this? Now, you at least know what is happening. With this, you have now got an insight and you can start making decisions and taking actions toward improving the situation. We are only halfway in the month. Now you can still do something about it. At the beginning of next month, when the invoices for the previous month will be sent out, this will be too late. Here's the next actionable insight. There are a few customers for whom, halfway into the month, we are well behind concerning the month-to-date target. While for these two customers, this may not be a major problem yet, we are not that far off the month-to-date target, plus we've still got a couple of weeks to go. There's a completely different story with this very customer. barely any work has been done so far, and we are way off of the month-to-date target. And here's the third dashlet. It's about making sure that the ratio of billable hours versus booked hours is okay. In other words, we are speaking about our margins here. If we don't, or if we can bill the hours we and our people work and book, we are not making money. Actionable insight here. The ratio for most of the customers is okay, but not for 2 of them. For one of them, the ratio is actually catastrophic, 25%, where we require at least 80%, as shown on the third dashlet. So, how would now actionable insights provided by this dashboard on one side help you save trouble, and on the other side, how would they help you save, or depends on how you look at it, how would these actionable insights help you make more money? Let's assume this would be your business. Well, it's very obvious in this case that you've got a major problem with your client, Smith & Sons. Halfway into the month, 90+% of the budget used up, with only 25% of hours billable. Very bad. The good news is there's still half of the month to go, and with this, at least some of the time left for damage control. You probably don't even want to know how big the damage would be at the end of the month if you wouldn't start acting now. So what could you do about it? It really depends how your business looks like, but I certainly would go and talk to my account manager. Listen, what's happening? What kind of help do you need? Why are we doing so much unbillable work? Do we have any quality problems, technical challenges? When will we talk to the customer? Well, this is when you start making decisions and taking actions that will help you recover. Same here. Talk to the account manager immediately. Why haven't you really started yet? Do you need any additional resources? Anyone sick? Is the customer not delivering requirements? When will we talk to them? Again, we're just halfway in the month. Now you can still do something about it. Now, here's a really interesting one for you. It's a real story, and I've seen similar things happen many times. It's about 25% billable ratio. Only 25%, where it should be 80% or more. So here's what happens. Now, you've talked to your account manager and asked all these questions about why over the budget and why only 25% ratio. So they came back to you in a day or two and say, yeah, there are actually 2 major problems here. We do have rework to do, since we really got some quality issues. And the other part is, we've got a new person joining our team and the project, and he is just not fully productive yet. But let me tell you, there's good news. Since this new guy is booking his hours too, well, we seem to have forgotten to tell him to check the billable flag when he's booking his hours. So actually, all the hours he has entered until middle of the month were marked unbillable. We had him correct this, and now the billable ratio for the team is 69%. See, this is the real power of having a dashboard like this, because things like this happen all the time. So this is what would normally happen in this case. The new guy would book his hours like this, meaning not as billable, for at least a month or 2, maybe even longer. Well, on the other side, invoices are being issued by the office management, and they just look at the number of hours they need to bill the customer for. They normally don't check if the bookings were done properly. So it is very likely that it just wouldn't be noticed that the new guy was not booking his hours as billable. What is cause and effect here? For a while, you wouldn't bill part of the hours you should and you could. You would basically lose revenue without even noticing it. And this happens all the time. But not if you've got a dashboard like this or similar. Okay, here's some food for thought for you. Think about if you would use a dashboard like this once a week. Just look at the customers that are not on target with their actual hours and not on target with the billable ratio. And then just go and talk to your projects or account managers and ask them why. What would this do to your business? How much pressure at the end of the month would this take off of you and of your team? How many unpleasant conversations with your customers could you avoid? How many more hours you could bill that normally would remain unbillable? Think about it, and perhaps you want to share this with me. So there you have it. Another great dashboard I'm absolutely convinced is worth using. And I have shown you how it can save you a lot of trouble and actually even save and or make you money. Please leave me your comments below. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you find good about this dashboard, and also let me know what you would like to change. Feel free to share this with your friends and everyone who you think would also benefit from it. You can also be a guest on Dashboards Worth Using. If you've got a few questions about your business or about a part of it, and you would need a dashboard to answer these questions in an actionable way, well, I may be able to help you design this dashboard and then share it in one of the upcoming episodes. For this, just send me an email to fkolenko@dashboardsworthusing.com, put guest in the subject line, and tell me a bit about your business and what kind of dashboard you would need. If it's a good fit for my show, I'll get in touch with you and we will start the process. I hope you have enjoyed this episode and you find it useful. If you haven't done this yet, please go and subscribe to Dashboard Worth Using so that you will not miss any upcoming episodes. Now, if you would like me to help you design and implement your dashboards and reports, just send me an email to fkolenko@dashboardsworthusing.com and we will start the dialogue. So that's it for this episode. Happy dashboarding, and I will see you in the next episode.